Hey guys, it's Waldemar with Grizzly Clutch Tools. I got some new tools. We're excited to get these out here, and I want to make a new video showing them. First, I want to just thank all you guys who've purchased the tools, my original ones, over the years, and I've had good luck with them. I've had real good conversations and email back and forth, just trying to help people out and just learning stuff myself. It's been real good. Thank you for everyone who's liked and subscribed to the YouTube channel and the video and the Facebook page. So that's great. I want to show you guys the original stuff first here. Just we'll recap. We got the original primary and secondary with spring compressor for the different models, the 550, 600, 660, and 700 platforms. Yeah, it fits a bunch of different bikes. That's great. Then we made the 400 and 450 version, for the little guys, and again with the spring compressor and whatnot. It just helps people be able to take these things apart, put it back together when they're maintaining and doing stuff, mods or whatever they're doing. And yeah, I've got good feedback on it. I really appreciate it over the years, so it's been good. Thanks a lot, guys. And now we got some new tools. Real excited. This winter I've been designing and coming up with this. We got something for the Wolverine X2 and X4 850. We got the primary and secondary holder. The spring compressor again fits on all these models. The Wolverine X2 and RMAX 1000 models. We got the primary holder and secondary holder, and they're much beefier tools to match the much higher torque specs that come along with putting on and taking off these clutches. So that's we're gonna do that today. I just want to let everyone know, when you're trying to contact me, I do everything through email. That's gffsnorkels@outlook.com. That's where I can be contacted. And yeah, so let's get to trying these new tools out and showing you how they work. And yeah, let's do it. Okay, we've got the X2 1000 here, which is going to be just like the RMAX when it comes to the clutches. RMAX 1000 model, so we got the tools here. If you come on in and we'll see how this goes. Basically, it's just a band clamp that goes over top of the primary and tightens up with this 1/2-inch bolt. Takes a 3/4 inch wrench here. This nut is going to require 225 foot-pounds to tighten up. Right now it's loose. I just had these clutches off, so let's fasten this thing up here and we'll show it in use. Okay, we're just going to make sure the tool is all the way back onto the clutch, hitting the back here. And then this 1/2-inch bolt here with 3/4 inch head, you're just going to tighten that up. Now, we don't want to go too wild with the tightening on this. I don't want to crush things and go too wild. So I've found that 15 foot-pounds seems to do the trick. It's enough to... it's all just enough to hold the clutch from sliding inside the tool, so as you're trying to torque it up. So let's do it to 15 foot-pounds. It seems to work there. There we go, 15. And we're going to put in the breaker bar into the socket. And I've got this loose already, so we're going to tighten this guy up, like I said, to 225 foot-pounds. So it's quite a bit. There we go. There. Tightened up to the factory spec. Now just remove your 1/2-inch bolt or loosen it back off, and this comes off, and we'll we'll do the secondary next. Okay, so for the secondary clutch, this nut here, and we've got it loose right now, it gets torqued to 181 foot-pounds on the 1000 model here. So we got the tool. It comes with the bolts that just sort of hold the tool to the clutch. You got these little bean-like slots here, and they're gonna line up with the threaded holes that are in the clutch. Let me just, and these teeth just sort of hook on to the fins, like that. And we don't have to tighten this up very much. I'm just doing them up to the point where it's holding, like they can almost be finger tight, like just slightly snug, so it's holding this tool to the clutch. And then yeah, we're gonna put the breaker bar in here, and we're gonna grunt this thing to 181 foot-pounds. There we go. All right, take that back out. Undo your bolts and put them back in the tool, and you're torqued right up. Okay, now that we're done tightening up the two nuts on the primary and secondary of this 1000, I want to show you the tools for the 850. Now, the 850, I don't have one here in the shop today, but I do have some parts that show how they work. It's going to be almost identical to how we did it here in the 1000. Come over here. So we've got a secondary and a primary off of an 850. So let's work on the primary first. The primary has these type of screws all the way around. These screws, you're going to take two of the screws out, opposing each other. And these guys, I'm just gonna go like this. And this tool has these little slots in it, and they're gonna go in these little nodes over here. So it goes right down, and then these line up with your two screws. And yeah, we just zip those up. Now they don't have to be very tight. Again, they're not meant to be torqued on, obviously. They're just little tiny M4 screws, but the screws are good enough to hold the tool in place, and then the torque can go against all these nodes all the way around. And basically it's the same idea when this is in the bike. You put your breaker bar here and your nuts, it's the same sort of deal here. Now this primary on the 850 gets 181 foot-pounds of torque instead of 225 on the 1000. So it's 181 for the primary. So yeah, that's how that one works. Let's go to the secondary. The secondary is just, it's a whatever, it's 850, it's just a little bit smaller, a little different fin design. So we got this tool, almost very similar to the other one. So it's got the two bolts here that come with the tool. You take these slots, line them up with the threaded holes. There we go. And again, they can just be almost finger tight. They don't have to be very tight at all. You can just do them up until they're just snug. And that, because all they're doing is holding this tool to the sheave here, and then these little teeth are what are doing the holding when you're doing the torque. So you'd set your breaker bar in here, put your torque wrench on the nut. The 850 secondary gets 118 foot-pounds. So we've got 181 foot-pounds for the primary, of the 850 and 118 foot-pounds of torque for the secondary. But although these are out of the bike, it worked almost identical to how you've seen it previously here on the 1000. So that's how they work. Okay, so last tool of the kit is the spring compressor. It's for the secondary, which we took off the 1000 that we were just working on. So put some cloths down or some cardboard or something soft just to protect the clutch a little bit. What we want to do with this is taking the secondary apart. The spring is under a lot of tension, and on these 1000s it's a lot of tension. It's not just like the 450 or 700. Like, there's a lot of oomph here on the spring. So what we're going to do is find a way to take this spring retaining nut and loosen it off here safely so we can release the spring tension safely. First, we're going to take the clamps, just wood clamps or whatever you got, sort of hold the clutch down to the bench a bit so it doesn't move around. Now, I use a 2 13/16 socket. If you're so inclined to use the correct socket, you would use a 55mm socket, which I do not have. We're using this today. Goes on. And what we want to do is we just want to crack this loose. We don't want to take it off. It's really important that you don't take it off at this point. We're just cracking it loose so that we can take it off safely in the spring compressor. There. We've cracked it loose, maybe a quarter turn. That's all you need. Take the clamps back off. The spring compressor, we're going to take the base of it. You're going to put it in the vise. I'm going to take this whole unit and put it down onto the base. There. The cup goes down over top of here, and we want to try and center it as best we can on this flanged washer, just so that the nut has room to spin inside here. So we're going to put this down and just center it as best we can. Put the nut and washer on. And we're just going to take the spring tension off of this by tightening this up just a little bit, and you'll feel it stop. Come around, boom, there. That's as far as she goes. Now this nut should be loose, and it is, because we cracked it loose on the bench. Now we can just loosen it with the fingers until it's off, and this entire spring assembly is being held by the cup right now. So now we can take the 3/4 wrench and safely release the tension from that spring. See this fine quality Weller Racing spring? Props to Weller Racing, they're awesome. Take this nut back off. There. Now this spring retaining nut and washer come off, and you can take the secondary apart to re-grease it or clean it out. You can change the spring. You can do whatever you want there, different tensions. So putting it back together is pretty much the same sort of deal. Just set it on there. But it's really important when you're putting this cup on to really try and center it so that you don't have any problems with the nut starting. Otherwise, it just doesn't start so nice. So put it on here. And we start compressing the spring. And this washer is going to go down to here, and it can only go so far, and then you'll feel it stop. Don't go any further than that. You'll feel the spring a little bit more tension, a little bit more tension, and boom, there. That's as far as we need to go. You can feel it tighten right up. We're bottomed out. This washer we're going to thread on by hand here, or with the fingers. I'll try to, it's just a little bit finicky. There we go. And you just put it down as far as you can by finger tight, and then we'll tighten it up on the bench after. So let's release this. Now the spring retaining nut is holding the spring tension. Oops. Okay, so take this off, put it back here. Now this spring retaining nut, we're going to want to tighten it up to 66 foot-pounds. So we're just going to do the same thing as this just helps hold it in place a little bit while you bear hug it and wrestle it tight. So take your socket, your torque wrench, 66 foot-pounds. There we go, 66 foot-pounds. Take these back off. All right, and that's how you use the spring compressor. That's it. So we got those tools, clutch tools. If anyone wants to contact me, my email is gffsnorkels@outlook.com. That's how I converse with anybody. Thanks for watching the video. Please like and subscribe, and also check out my Facebook page. I'm going to put all the links and information down below in the comment section. Thanks again, guys.